Well, originally when we opened up our cafe, it was approximately 10 years ago. There really wasn't that many options out there for plant-based products. We're really now we're spoiled in a way where it's very accessible at any mainstream grocery store. You can get vegetarian this or vegan this. Like it's
And Hi, this is Rob. I'm here with our co-host Quentin on the weekly Side Hustle podcast, where we bring business owners on to talk about their entrepreneurial journey, right from ground zero to millions and millions of dollars. And today we have Tak and Mayumi with a third partner working, hustling in the back, keeping things going. I'm just going to introduce Quentin, let him say hi, and then he can introduce our guest this week.
Hey everyone, welcome back, and excited to bring you Vancouver's, or maybe even Canada's best healthy ramen workshop here in Vancouver, in North Vancouver. So been a happy customer of theirs for a while, and got to know them and their business, and excited to share it with everyone here. So it's an interesting story because it's a family business. So I really love the fact that the origin story, but I'll let you all share how you built what you built so far.
Yeah, so quick
Yeah.
introductions. Mayumi, ladies first.
All right. My name is Mayumi Bay, and I am the middle sibling. So Tak's younger sister. So Tak and I were born in Japan. We immigrated to Canada, and definitely our childhood was not without its challenges, but our parents really wanted an abundant life for us when we immigrated, and shortly after Hanaca was born in Canada. And, about 10 years ago, father had passed from early onset Alzheimer's disease, and that's fueled our growth journey into becoming healthy and experimenting with the things that we eat and put into our bodies. And definitely around that time, I was personally having a lot of health issues, and found that going plant-based, it was life-changing for me. But being the foodie that I am, and food being such a central part of our family growing up, we really wanted to try experimenting with plant-based recipes, but being able to eat the foods that we grew up with. And so 9 years ago, in 2016, we opened up a restaurant in the corner of North Vancouver. And quickly, the community really showed up for us and really devoured the products that we were making and the menu items that we were making.
No pun intended, correct?
Yeah. And there was a demand for our products to be enjoyed in the comfort of their own home. And naturally, we just froze the recipes that we were serving in our cafe and started distributing that. And then a couple of years back, we just really concentrated on the wholesale and retail aspect of our business.
Bring the food to the masses.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
Tak, a little bit about your background. I had the luxury of meeting both of you at your cafe there in North Vancouver, just on the other side of the river here in Vancouver. Both very healthy, partly because of your lifestyle. Maybe a little bit about that background. You don't want to mess with this family either.
That's right.
So what's the secret, Tak? What's, a little bit about your background?
Yeah. So like Mimi explained, her father passed away like about 10 years ago. And that was kind of an eye-opening moment for me to really pursue what I'm really passionate about, which is definitely the fitness aspect and as well as the nutrition aspect. Up until then, I was actually a high school teacher for 10 years. And I did that, and it got me reflecting on, do I really want to do this until I was like, I retire, essentially 65, 70, and then try to enjoy my life then? Or do I take the risk and just really pursue what I'm passionate about? And at that time, basically, Mayumi and I and Hanaca, we all got talking to see if we can create something that's unique out there and really share the knowledge we have for food and love we have for food And for me, being able to combine that with my fitness aspect was kind of almost like a dream come true. Because I also have a personal training background. I have my own personal training business, actually. And then I was actually on the national team for Kendo for about 15 years. So I've been to 4 world championships and competed for Canada.
Wow.
So
if you're on the nudes accounts receivable list, TAC also takes care of the finances and the collections.
Well, I have a question about that, because I know your little sister Hanaca, she's not on the call right now, but have you two ever battled? Because I know that she's got a bunch of awards for Kendo too. Who's the top family member with Kendo there?
definitely, like Hanaka's at the world stage. She's actually a bronze medalist, and she's one of the few. I think Japan and Korea is definitely the two strongest countries in Kendo. And any other countries that can actually place in the top 3 is kind of amazing to see. It's very rare, and for Canada and to be able to do that has been like a extraordinary task accomplishment. So in the world stage, yeah, definitely she's got one up on me for sure. But in the local stage, yeah, sometimes like we've been up against each other for sure. Yeah, and we practice spar against each other in the same club, because like in Kendo, there's no weight classes, right? So you're up against anybody. Tall, short.
How about Mayumi? Do you get in the mix?
Actually, I did grow up doing Kendo as well. I made it to the national level. Women's, I made it to 3rd place in women's when I was 16, I think. But I did stop practicing when I was 17.
10 years ago, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, very very short time ago. Yes, I just wanted to pursue some different things in life, and Kendo is such a big commitment, and kudos to the other 2 for continuing on, but I was done.
But it's a big part of the health journey. And is Kendo, forgive me for my ignorance, but just learning about Kendo now, is Kendo something that you can continue for fitness as well rather than competition? Unlike boxing or football or basketball, you're playing at a high level. Basketball, you can just go to the outdoor court now and have fun, but boxing is kind of hard to do at half speed. You either get hit or you don't get hit.
I think absolutely. I think Kendo, yeah, it's something that you can continue for life. I think it's one of martial arts with actually most martial arts are more practice than competing, right? So absolutely. But I did not practice. I do not practice, so I shouldn't really say too much. But absolutely, I think Kendo with any martial art is just a lifelong experience.
Excellent. So after meeting with you, we started talking a little bit about finance and things. And TAC, you're taking care of the finance side, Mayumi, the marketing, the social side of the business, helping grow it, and it's all intertwined. TAC, what is your background in finance? Were you thrown into this role? Have you had to learn on the go?
Definitely. Just asking around, a lot of YouTube videos, trial and error. But I guess I've always been kind of curious about, okay, how can I make money from when I was a kid, really? And I've held like a lot of different jobs, and I started my personal fitness, I guess, business on the side while I was teaching as well. And I've been able to train a lot of high profile clients, high wealth clients around town. And that was probably the best advice, best time I was able to get. So you get a full hour with these people, essentially being able to pick their brains while
they're paying you to pick their brain for an hour.
Exactly right. So I think that was the most educational experience, I would say.
I remember hearing a couple speeches from Warren Buffett, and then I saw somebody talking about his speeches online. Every one of his little clips on YouTube was him addressing a university audience. And he had the same joke at every presentation. He'd tap the mic and he'd say, "Oh, testing 1 million, testing 2 million." Those little jokes. But then one of his main messages was to everybody that the language of business is accounting. And, you know, if you're going to be in business, have a family member take care of that role. It's the same as JF Kennedy when they were trying to put a man on the moon. He was touring NASA, and he stopped, and there's a photo of it online, him talking to one of the custodians at NASA, and he stopped and the custodian said, "Hey, Mr. President, you know, so happy to meet you. Thanks for visiting us and supporting our program." And he says, "So what's your role here at NASA?" And it's a janitor. And the janitor says, "I'm helping put a man on the moon." So everybody has a role in the business. It's great to see because we have a business. It's not a family business. I have 3 brothers, 2 sisters. They don't want anything to do with accounting, you know, but your business is great because you have the fitness aspect where you're all, I'm not going to say fitness freaks, but you're all fitness conscious. And then the food is a big part of it. Where did the formulation for nudes and where did that all come from? You know, there's a proprietary formula for making products, and you have one there with the different flavors, and I've tried them. Thanks for those samples, of course. The check's in the mail. And so where did that come from? Do any of you have a formulation or biology background or chemistry background?
Actually, tech does have a chemistry background. And I think, well, originally when we opened up our cafe, it was approximately 10 years ago. There really wasn't that many options out there for plant-based products. We're really now we're, you know, spoiled in a way where it's very accessible at any mainstream grocery store. You can get vegetarian this or vegan this, like it's
and restaurants
clearly
as
labeled.
well. Restaurants have a section on the menu.
Absolutely. So around, like, again, in 2015, 16, there was nothing. We would go out to eat as a family, and I became vegan first. And it was just either Caesar salad, which was the closest thing, but most of the time not made vegan. And I got sick of eating salads all the time. I wanted, you know, flavorful food, like umami rich foods. And that's when we really experimented. I'm like, well, why can't we just make, you know, the same thing, but just vegan? It can't be that difficult. And so there was a lot of experimentation. And then around that time, you know, I actually went on a trip to LA, and we often go to Japan, and just kind of studied different flavors, different umami flavors as well. And you know, a lot of those products were made with kombu, which is the sea kelp, and that's a vegan product. And with miso, like fermented soybeans or fermented chickpeas, and just combining those experiences and trial and error. And it was actually fairly a smooth ride, just because I also used to be a flight attendant, so I had eaten so many delicious foods out there in the world, and so creating just something to start with was noodles. We just thought, you know what, my kids love noodles, my parents love noodles, my siblings love noodles, everybody loves noodles, and you can sit down in one place and eat. Everybody can enjoy noodles. Whether it be plant-based, not plant-based, it just, as long as that flavor profile was good food at the end of the day is good food, right? So that was sort of the beginning of our recipes and whatnot. The very latest shelf stable product was definitely an innovation with intent. We did our market research, we looked at trends, and people were looking for that quality product at home and convenient product at home. And trends are changing, right? Economic times are changing. People are eating less out at restaurants, but still didn't want to give up that restaurant quality at home. So
some are eating out less at restaurants. Some.
Sorry, Rob.
Yeah.
I meant the general public.
I know. If you look at our expense bill every month, there's a lot of restaurants on there.
All right. Well, you need to come eat at the cafe more often.
There you go.
Well, let's maybe talk about that. Where can people? Because I know that you've been expanding into London Drugs, into a lot of the different big wholesalers. You know, where can people go ahead and sample these and purchase them?
Yeah, so we are distributing nationwide at the and now definitely different products at sometimes at different places. Vegan Supply, Fortino's, Whole Foods, London Drugs, Urban Fare, Choices, and you can just find our location map on our website, plantbasedworkshop.com. And if anybody wants to take advantage of Mayumi 20, you can purchase our products for 20% off online.
Wow.
Yes, but absolutely.
We'll get that in the comments below. We always have it in the replay and on our podcast channels and on YouTube, but we'll also get some images of the products up, and we'll get a couple links, the key links where people need to go to find out about Nudes and find out more about you guys.
Sweet. Oh, also, we also do serve our products now in food service. So they're being served at post-secondary institutions like UBC, SFU, BCIT, etc.
Is Nudes going to be sorry, Quentin, but is Nudes going to be in the sky soon? You talked about being a stewardess or working on airlines. So I know there's several companies that provide several of the airlines. Have you looked at those options?
That's interesting because I think Korean Air just canceled their Shin Ramen cup of noodles because it was causing too much liability issues in the turbulence.
Right.
But we have several products that could work nicely in food service. So absolutely, that's sky's the limit.
So if you're with one of the major airlines and you're watching this, reach out to Mayumi.
Yes,
they can help formulate a special product for your airline, exclusive. I'm sure you can make an exclusive.
And speaking of that too, because from what I've seen, it's really been like just the hustle. Like you're doing a lot of demos, you're going to a lot of trade shows. Like, it's really impressive just seeing the as you said, like the family coming together to really. Even your mother was involved.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just really awesome to see this local business doing big things in a lot of, not just in Canada, but have you gotten down? I think you're on Amazon as well, like Amazon.com?
.ca.
.ca. Okay.
Yeah.
And
are people able to order online directly through your website?
Yes. Nationwide. Throughout Canada.
Website, please, and we'll have it in the links below.
Plantbasedworkshop.com. Yes.
Plantbasedworkshop.com.
And your Instagram IG?
At Plant-Based Workshop.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah, we'll make sure it's all in the links. If you're looking for those, don't, enjoy the fruits. Don't try and study the roots right now. We'll have all that in the comments.
I was going to say, with all of this, hustle, what's been kind of one of the biggest breakthroughs, but also one of the biggest kind of breakdowns,
challenges, biggest breakthrough. Yeah.
The highs and lows of the last, the journey so far.
Oh, that's a loaded question. I think, and I'm sure Tech has different opinions on this, but I think the biggest challenge is being bootstrapped. We've been a bootstrap company, and all the challenges that come with that, financial constraints, slower growth, work-life balance is a huge one, attracting talent, risk management, access to resources, resource allocation, and most importantly for myself personally, I feel like buying back time has always been a challenge. And right when you think you did, it's like the industry is so volatile. That's definitely been the challenge. I think the great thing is really just being able to work with family. I know that everybody shows up, and between Tak, Hanaca, and I, no matter what happens, we always show up for each other. We always, no matter how the dispute may be, the next day I know they're gonna come and we're gonna work it out. And that's the biggest
upside.
The biggest upside. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've definitely grown to know each other a lot more as adults. So that's been wonderful for me anyways. I can only speak for myself.
Tak's gonna get his 2 cents in. Don't forget,
I should have gone after.
No, ladies first.
But I do have to say, like through it all, there's been like this undeniable thrill in a way, right? Where there's stomach dropping moments, but being able to pivot and working hard, coming from an immigrant family has been the easy part for us. It's really just getting through those challenges, figuring things out, and really just showing up the next day. That's been our biggest challenge, but thrill, right? Where it just kind of shapes who you are as a human being through this journey. And as an entrepreneur, for me, as a mother, as a wife, like all of those things collectively, I feel like we are able to embrace those chaotic moments and really adapt to that unexpected.
Yeah, we haven't had a lot of big names on our podcast, mostly local businesses, Canadian businesses. And that's the same story that I hear online, not from our guests, but stories I've heard online from successful entrepreneurs is that they've taken the risk. And that's what I see you guys doing. So Tak, don't worry, you're going to get your turn. Now it's Tak's turn. So, it's a major win and let's say a major challenge in the business, or, something that we could use to put out there to our audience that maybe somebody could help with, or something you're looking for help with, maybe design or production or equipment or space.
Yeah, I would say like I would actually echo Mayumi on a lot of these things in terms of challenges, especially with my role looking at the books every day. That part's like quite a challenge when every penny seems to count, right? Every little bit seems to count. So just trying to go out there and apply for as many grants as possible, or even look at any kind of financing, line of credit, whatever that's going to get us to the next day.
No, there are companies
Essentially,
out there that actually assist with that. They all take a fee, which is given, right? Everybody's got to eat.
Yeah.
But there are groups out there. So we have a few that we work with that we could actually put you in touch with. That's something I didn't know. So reach back on that one.
I will. Yeah. So in that sense, that's almost like a daily struggle, trying to figure out, okay, what's next. But at the same time, like the highs would be just kind of working as a team with the siblings, and also kind of getting to meet new people. And I think for myself personally, it's just like working on myself constantly, trying to get over hurdles. For example, like I've never been like a guy that would stand up at a booth talking to people before, but now kind of working towards being a little bit more comfortable in that, or like trying to learn from, Mayumi, who might be better at sales than me, and like learning how she's able to close a sale and try to see if I can apply the same method there. Or even like small things like that, going out to all these markets and seeing how other people are doing it better, and try to make that my own. It's kind of my personal journey, trying to just constantly educate myself and learn from the best in the industry, right? So
one of that brings me to a question we ask all our guests, and I'll ask you both first, and then I'll give my segue. Is, do either of you have a book that you've read that has inspired you or given you confidence or taught you some techniques? And the book, one of the sales books that may help Mayumi you, is Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss, and he talks about 7 simple techniques. And you're shaking your head, you've read it. So one of the my favorite techniques is turning yes answers into no answers. And how would you do that? You don't want to keep living an unhealthy lifestyle, do you? No. Most people would say, well, eat nudes, you'll live a healthy lifestyle, but nobody cares about yeses anymore. They're more averse to no's. So maybe a different book, Mayumi, and you, Tak, something that you've read, something that we can put in the comments below for your listeners to read up on.
Tak, I'll let you go first on this one.
Don't fight for first place here, right?
It's not a book that I probably read recently, but it's like How to Win Friends and Influence People might be one of the good books that I read, kind of because I've never been like a talker. I've never been like.
Well, you're the accountant, man. I can relate.
Exactly,
you're the accountant.
Right?
Me and you in the back room. You only come to us when there's money problems.
Exactly. So I've never been the one to really talk to people. I'm always behind a computer and whatnot. But I've always wanted to be able to talk like other people, or talk and relate to other people in a better way. And I think that book really changed the way I talk to people and I associate with people and make relationships, etc. So I think that's one of the key books I've definitely read in the past.
Well, that's Dale Carnegie. I have a copy of that on my shelf as well. Mayumi.
There's specific to business.
It doesn't have to be business.
The E-Myth revisited. That one I did feel like I got a lot out of. And a really old one, Who Moved My Cheese? That was Spencer Johnson, I think.
We'll look that
Who
one
Moved
up.
My Cheese? Yeah,
you know,
that one was
simple. E-Myth is simple. I have a signed copy from Gerber myself.
What? Oh,
yeah.
That's fantastic. It was really easy to understand the concept, and you can apply it to so many different things. In fact, Who Moved My Cheese was one of the first business books that I read when we started, when we became entrepreneurs. And it was something that I often tell my kids to read, which they haven't yet. But it's kind of like talking about human psychology and business, and it was a really cool read for me.
That's a great match.
I'll just jump out, and I heard that you had a interaction with Hanaca's favorite author, Jay Shetty, down in LA now.
Yes. Yes, that was so
too.
Wonderful. I've listened to his podcast for years now as well, and he's on the more on the mental health side of things, and he's done such a great job, really, with the execution. And
is it his voice or the content? He's got a slick voice.
Ooh, yes, he has one of those voices that you kind of want to lean into. 100%. He did not disappoint when we met him as well. He's one of those people that really makes you feel like you're the only person that he's listening to in that moment. And I think that presence and intention is really fantastic about him, and the quality of his books and podcasts are.
Here's a little point for you, coming from a 3-time DTM. There's 3 distinguished Toastmasters plaques on the wall. But something I learned at Toastmasters is when you're speaking to an audience, roam the room and stop and make eye contact for 2 to 3 seconds with each sentence, and the people around who you're looking at will feel like you're talking directly to them, and you'll pull them in a little bit deeper. I just thought I'd throw that in there for those that didn't know.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a great speaker for sure.
So what's coming up with news? Thanks for sharing the books. We'll make sure and get those in the comments so people can click on them and find out what's inspired you two. And maybe Hanaca wants to share hers, maybe offline. You could get that to us as well. So what's coming up for Nudes or for the cafe? Anything coming up, any special events, any promotions, any new product lines coming out?
We're always research, developing, trying to improve what's out there. We definitely, this fall, beginning of the fall, we will be concentrating a lot on the food service aspect. So we'll be really launching big into universities, UBC in particular. So they've actually built out a noodle bar, which is really exciting, and for us, a huge client for us, and we'll be pushing that. We really, really want to expand that food service reach as well. We've noticed that a couple of orders have also reached University of Toronto as well. So that's something that we, again, want to expand on and concentrate on those retailers as well. We now have 10 SKUs in Whole Foods. So we'll be doing a lot more demos out there and trying to get those, get customers to just really try our products.
And now for the exciting news on the financial side. TAC. Just having fun putting you on the spot, because we don't get to talk about much other than the finances. I know the company, I know we've talked about the finance on the side on a personal note, and things are growing. Are you looking for investors? Are you open to bringing investors on board, or are you still trying to grow it on your own?
Yeah, Mayumi and I we go back and forth. Sometimes like, should we get investors? The other days not. And we ask around, and there's so many mixed opinions about
Mhm.
investors, and a lot of founders saying, "Yeah, don't get investors," or "Yeah, that was the greatest thing ever." So I'm not sure like what it is in that realm that would be fitting for us. Perhaps I think getting investors isn't for everybody, probably,
I
and
think
you
they
pro
would lose in the boardroom, right? The kendo would come out
right.
and the investors would be on the ground begging for mercy.
Exactly, right. So definitely, I think we need to explore more in this regards, and we probably need to talk to other experts in the field.
Yeah, and something to keep
And
in the back of your head, companies we've had experience with, again, not a lot of, uber large companies, but we're talking tens of millions helping close sales, etc. Some of them still hadn't even turned a profit and they sold,
Mm.
for millions of dollars because you've put all that R&D, all the brand recognition that you've built over the years is something that does have value on the books. And yeah, you're right. You don't have to give away equity. You could have sponsorships. You could have, think of all you've been in the coaching industry. Think of the coaching affiliate program that you could have with tens of thousands of coaches around North America pushing your products or, partnering on it without giving away equity. So there's always options. I like that you're gonna, I read it in between the lines. You're keeping this family owned.
Well, actually, Tech and I, like, we're very open to possibilities. I think the main concern is that we have, until now, we have said yes to so many opportunities. And right now, we're just really trying to focus on what we can do best to push this business forward. And once we really, really hone in on that, I think we would be a lot more open for acquisition or partnerships or just more knowledge to thrust us forward. And so we're definitely open. We would love more. We want to grow right now, and that's our focus. And if anybody is wanting or willing to help us with that, we will definitely want to have a conversation.
Yeah, and we'll have that contact information in the notes below. So if you are listening and you have an idea, some way to help, if you have some resources to bring to the table, it's not always about taking, it's about giving. That's what my old boxing coach told me. It's always better to give than to receive. So if you're listening out there, one
You
of our
mean giving
listeners,
punches?
well, no, we're just talking
Receive
rhetorically.
punches?
Yeah, it's always
Okay.
better to give than to receive. So, if you're listening, reach out. I'm sure you guys are open to chatting with people that, have something to bring to the table.
Awesome. Yeah. And if you're just hungry, go to the cafe, order it online, treat yourself to a delicious meal. It's great.
Yeah,
It's
great
really
meeting space, nice and quiet, right in the heart of North Vancouver. Beautiful scenery. A lot of parks close by. Go for a walk, stop at the cafe, talk business. So that's it. I think we're almost at a wrap. Thanks for all the updates. Thanks for a little insight into your personal lives and the business. And our listeners come on to get inspired. And I think this will be an inspiring episode. So that'll be it for another episode on the Side Hustle. And I'll let Quentin wrap it up.
Thanks for coming out, everyone. See you on the next one. Have a great day.
Thank you.
That's a wrap.
So they'll edit everything out. If there's any pauses, they're really good at cutting those out. Once you see it, let us know if there's something in there that we shouldn't have said or etc. But
no,
especially once you see the post, like once you get the link for the main post, it's shared on one website. I don't know how it works, but it's one main podcast distribution. And then it's shared with YouTube, all the podcast channels. So you'll watch that one episode, but look at the comments. We need to get a bio from you guys. So take a look at our website. Quentin will send you the previous podcast to see how many words. We should have got that to you ahead of time, but I think it's about 600 words. Probably Mayumi's going to write that up, but you have about that, and then we'll
you know us so well already.
Yeah, but then we'll get the links and everything in the bottom. We had a couple here yesterday. So my wife Michelle, the couple just sold the Mercedes dealership, and it was a long negotiation, and they were here and they're so ecstatic because they got what they were asking for. Like everything was perfect. It was somebody who owns 3 other dealerships. So they got the money they wanted, and then I was asking the husband something, and he just looked over at the wife like that. It'd be like asking you something financial, and you just turn to look at Tack, right?
Exactly. He just does all the dirty work, you know?
Yeah,
Things I don't want to do.
Fixing plumbing, electrical, and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, building the shelves.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's under the accounting description, right?
exactly.
Shelf
Et
building,
cetera. Yeah, et
yeah,
cetera.
et cetera. What does et cetera mean? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is the room so
Yeah.
dark? Yeah.
Well, congrats on everything. I did forget. There's one thing I was thinking to mention. Congrats on all the publications. You're like on the front pages on like every magazine these days. It
Oh.
seems like. And I was gonna ask. I forgot to ask that, but yeah, how did those kind of come about?
Actually, it's all trade shows.
Oh, wow.
People approaching us at trade shows.
Mhm.
We also had received a best marketed booth at Grocery West, which is one of the biggest grocery trade shows, and that was a Canadian grocer that reached out to us right after that and wanted to do a 2-pager. And then Lim Valley Magazine is something that, well, we grew up in Lim Valley, so it was they approached us again for that, and yeah, we're shortlisted for some awards this year for under BC Food and Beverage as well. So that's pretty cool.
Wow.
It's time we get some acknowledgement.
Yeah.
You have to ride those waves and repost and get it out there. So just, when people go into, let's say, Whole Foods and they see your product, if they've seen something online and it says, oh, it's at Whole Foods, next time they go, they're going to ask where it is, and they're going to look for it, and they're going to taste it, try it, just to see if what you're talking about is true, right? So there is power to social media.
Speaking of that, if you want, we can even put those images into some of the edits and reels, like from your different publications. So
yeah, get those like
in that bio when you send it over. Just maybe if you want to, whatever PR stuff you want to include in it, just send it with that email, and then we'll just have that also.
But they can insert those images into the replay as well. Like as we're talking, they can insert some of your images, maybe some photos of the store, the production. Get us a whole bunch of images. Or kendo, some kendo.
I was gonna say the battle of the family kendo tournament there.
Yeah, Tack on the ground with you and Hanaca's foot on his throat or something. Pointing down at him with the
Yeah, no, it's great. But yeah, I just want to wrap up saying, it sounds like this kind of whole business and idea started when your dad passed away. And I've kind of told Hanaca in the past that he's very proud of what you've come together and done as a family. So I just want to say that to both of you as well, that, it started off rough, but look at what that's kind of spawned into. So congratulations to all of you for that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I know you have a busy day there. Thanks for taking the time to jump on and have a chat, and as soon as we have everything up, we'll send it over.
Me, Marty, and Tack are going to meet up for something. I think some vegan restaurant somewhere we're going to go to enjoy vegan food.
Yeah,
plant-based only restaurants.com is where we're going.
All right, sounds good.
It's Miami knows where
Marty's waiting. He's twiddling his thumbs.
He's going to be the first one there, right, to the plant-based restaurant.
100%.
Well, I actually reached out because Tack originally was just going to be the three of us, and then when you said that you couldn't make it yesterday, I reached out to Marty to see if he could come. But it sounds like he's helping your mom get things organized in the big move. He's like, I'd love to, but I'm on moving duty still.
Yeah. Lots of trips to the dump.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. We won't read into that. Throwing mom under the bus. Yeah.
It sounds like everything worked out though last minute. So congrats on the house sale and everything too, because that was a big deal for sure.
For sure. Yeah, we'll be busy packing up for the next couple of weeks for sure.
Yeah. Well, good. We'll let you continue on and have a great weekend, and we'll chat along the way.